Hello and welcome to Game 2 of Day 2 here at Ultimate Resolution 2018. Heaton Mess up against the Whites. They've been unlucky so far, the Mess. They've really tried in all their games. It's been getting closer and closer, and I feel like this could be the game for them. But I just don't know. A word now from Louis.
I believe the team name is Pienamite, Joe.
Pienamite,
I have
the Whites.
got this up on my screen with me right now. Yeah, but it looks like they're going for team talks.
I feel like they're probably going to... They've got to maintain that level of performance they've had throughout the whole game so far. We're joined now by Ellie Wilson in the commentary box.
Oh, hiya. What's going on?
Well, we're here at Resolution 2018 at Northumbria University. Heaton Mess coming up for their second game now against Pienamite. Last game was very close. They were winning at the start, but unfortunately, at the very end there, the other team, the Lederhosen team, just pulled it back, and they lost by 1 point.
Backwards cap with another vintage performance from himself.
Who do you think is going to do well this game?
That guy's the one to watch, Colin down there with the glasses. He's very good.
Colin with the glasses.
I was watching him yesterday. He's got sick moves.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on Colin.
Sick moves from Colin there.
He's the one to watch for this game, everybody. Okay, and we're off. It started, has it?
It has started. We're underway. Kroom on the disc. Pressure from girl, blonde.
Blonde. Sway hair.
Sway hair on the blonde.
He's going to get caught out. Isn't there a time limit on these sort of things?
What's going on?
He's going to get a stall out. There's some sort of talk going on. No one knows what's happening. I think they've called a brick.
Something has happened on the pitch here today, and we're not quite sure exactly what it is. Joe said the word brick, but I don't know what that means.
So when the pull goes out of play, you're allowed to claim a brick as the offensive team and move further up the pitch for your start.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, off the wing to Fern. Fern looking into Max.
Oh, it's really zinged into Max there, but too much for Kroom. That's a good interception from inside out T-shirt.
Wolfen trying to curl it around. Oh, is that a point? That's a point for Pienamite.
That's a point early doors for Pienamite. I mean, as a very strong counter-attack, they've switched around. The transitions are excellent from Pienamite so far today.
Was Colin involved in that point?
Colin's involved in everything that happens. Central to the whole Pienamite movement.
Down 1 point so early on. Could this be difficult for team morale?
Well, I feel like Frisbee. It's such a high-paced game. It's easy to lose a point in seconds at any time in the game. You've got to not let your head drop on that. You've got to think they've scored a point that quickly. We can score 2 in half the time.
There's still 20 minutes left on the clock, Joe.
It's early days.
All right, they're calling for it. Heaton Mess are calling for it. Pienamite have had some kind of team talk there, strategizing, trying to capitalise on their early point.
Colin on the pull. It's a nice one. Lofty.
That's a lofty.
Ooh.
Are they going to brick that one?
I don't think they can brick that one because I think it's touched just before going out.
Okay, Harding looking for a throw in. Kroom is running forwards. He's looking for options.
Fern.
Fern goes in over. Jacob.
What's Jacob got? Bredenkamp moving around nicely in the end zone.
Yeah, lateral move. Looking for an in. Oh, that went wrong. That wasn't good there. I'll go for pitch side commentary with Eddie Wilson.
What are we doing?
Okay, thank you for that commentary.
Oh, that's massive.
Jacob is absolutely... Jacob hit it. That was an extraordinary progression of events there.
It's almost as if we don't know exactly what's happening.
Fern looking for a throw. Levi's coming in again. He seems to be...
Looking for Jacob.
She's
found him.
That is what you get. Oh,
Bredenkamp with that
point. Was in the end zone there. That's equalised. That's an equalising point.
1-1.
1-1. Not such a mess after all. Okay, who are they bringing on for this next point? Sam?
Sam's just come into the fold for this one. She's a good player, Sam. I like her.
Well, that's all right for you.
And for the Mess, and for the team. Taking a little while before the pull on this one. Nice tactical conversation from whatever they're called.
Pienamite.
Maybe they like trees and they're explosive. That would be my thoughts.
Just take time to catch your breath, might as well in this situation.
Why isn't Cooper wearing his socks?
The big question is at this game though, why isn't Cooper wearing his socks?
Just saying.
Do we have any thoughts on that, Joe?
Well, just for some context, due to no filming yesterday, Cooper was sporting a pair of rather jazzy socks for yesterday's games, but today has gone for the black number, the more reserved sock.
They have. It looks like Pienamite have scored a point while that sock discussion was taking place. But is it in fact true that Robson has only one pair of jazzy socks?
Well, I mean, there's been rumours around that perhaps Cooper's jazzy sock collection is not as extensive as one might think. But I feel like he might have other jazzy socks in the locker, but today he means business. Today it's all about just straight black ones.
Just black ones. Alright, looks like the pull's about to start now. Oh, Colin. He's asking for a swap by the looks of it. Bringing on backwards shirt.
Okay, so that's a classic mixed Frisbee issue where so the Pienamite, Pienamite have fielded with just one girl there, but due to Heaton Mess having two, we are allowed to ask them to match the number of girls that we've played.
And that's what Heaton Mess have done in this situation.
I don't know if we've asked or they've offered, but something has gone down where they've gone, okay, we'll match your two girls.
It looked to me like an offer from Colin.
It looked like an offer from Colin. He's a charitable lad.
Being very supportive on the sidelines.
Heaton Manor's finest.
All right.
Heaton Manor, Colin?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He's
All right. Inside out shirt. Try to pass it out to Lanky, but
Lanky was having none of it.
he wasn't really there for that one.
Fern on the disc.
Here's a throw in. This guy with some round glasses.
Nice one.
Gives it
Good
to
catch from
Marshall.
Marshall.
Marshall looking for options. Someone running back to
Fern
Fern.
again.
Marshall's running forward looking for the little pass through. Oh, it was a bit. Oh, he almost got to it. But the throw was a little wide, I would say, in that situation.
Just a touch wide.
Good idea. Curly hair. It looks like he's going long.
Oh, he's gone for a big one.
Oh, but glasses couldn't get to that one.
He's had the thought there, but the execution just hasn't come through for him on this occasion, and the throw's gone to the wayside.
But kudos for trying.
Yeah, well, I mean, God loves a tryer.
All right, Sam's stepping up now.
What's Sam
Marshall's
got?
looking busy in the middle. But
It's a nice
Farragonis
throw.
running forward.
Big defence from inside out shirt.
I still think there's enough options for Sam there.
Yeah, this is the thing. We need a little bit more movement from the Messes. We're all quite static, waiting for something to happen, but someone's got to make something happen. Take that initiative.
All right. So another person with an inside-out shirt has entered the pitch. They're in dangerous position here.
Who's Curly?
Curly, Bunchies.
Bunchies? What's Bunchies got in a locker?
Oh, it's over across to Curly.
Curly's made a nice movement there.
He made some space, but he didn't quite finish it off properly.
Curly's execution there, he's got the vision. He's just not quite there on the
Just
execution
a bit
today.
shit.
Just a little bit shit.
No, we don't mean that. We don't mean that. Curly and family. Sam looking for an option. There you go. That's the kind of option we need.
She's found
Bit of fast movement. Sparagana's running forward. He's looking for. There it is. Out of Sparagana. He's got Fern in the middle.
Oh! Just a touch too much on that one for Fern there. Just a touch.
Could have been something special.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, Ray.
All right, Curly forward to inside out. Inside out forward, back to Curly.
That's some delightful
Curly's
dummy
in
work from inside out.
He's in a dangerous position.
But it is Curly, so we can rest easy.
Oh, it's over the top. Oh!
I spoke too soon.
You spoke way too soon. And Glasses has secured a point to make it 3-1 to Pienamite. All right, now time for some commentary from Ellie Wilson.
I don't know anything about Frisbee.
Okay, thank you. We're getting ready to play another point. There's still 40 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock. So there's still plenty of opportunity for Heaton Mess to equalise and even go for a win.
Oh, certainly time enough to make up this deficit, but they've really got to start taking this seriously, galvanise the team spirit, work as a unit.
It's time to balance the books.
What, have they been cooking the books?
I don't know.
We weren't going to mention their finances.
I just hope that team captain Harding is, offering many words of support and encouragement on the sidelines to his team.
I feel like in times of strife, you're looking for an Alistair Marshall as your captain.
Okay.
An aggressive and angry.
He's
just going to shout and be like, come on.
They've just got to scare people into, doing what you want them to do.
Oh! What a grab from Kroom!
It's an amazing grab.
What a grab.
That's grab of the game.
Grab of the game. A replay will come on that on post-production.
Replay.
Oh, when he's dived and I'm just doing the commentary for the replay.
Okay.
He's dived and he's just grabbed it. That's truly excellent from Kroom. Back to the game.
All right, here we are back in the game. Kroom is giving it to Jacob. Jacob's looking in for Fern, perhaps. Oh, but it's not quite managed it. He's looking for it. Fern's still in space. Amy's running out onto the side for him.
Surely he's going to stall out soon.
He's going to... something happened there. Maybe he got this little minor foul there.
Robson on the ball. What's he got?
It's not technically a ball, Joe, but I can understand why you'd make that mistake. Jacob across pitch to Bread and Jam. Looking for an inside chip, Ferns.
The movement here is terrific.
There's many people in the end zone over the top.
What's he got?
Oh,
it's a life point from the Mess.
It's a point, making it 3-2 here at the Heaton Mess arena.
Oh, there's some contention here.
Uh-oh. This point might be disallowed.
All a bit of unrest on court 1 here.
Collins weighing in.
Colin just giving some clarity. I think we're having the point, but Colin's just, for future reference, just being, come on guys, we'll have a bit of chat. Well, it's nice to see when people improve people's thoughts on the game.
I, for one, am thankful that Colin is here for all of us.
I don't know what I'd do without Colin in my life.
And he's on the pitch now.
It'll be a pull from Jacob this time. Nice to see what he produces. Nice point scored by him just now.
Yeah. It's what was needed at this point in the game for Heaton Mess.
Well, you know, a 1-point cushion looks much more insecure for Pienamite than a 2-point cushion.
They're going to be worried at this point.
They're going to be thinking, what if another point is scored before we score a point? Then there won't be any lead. And then perhaps another point after that as well. And before you know it, they're winning.
We're getting some waves from the Heaton Mess team standing by. Heaton Mess are ready to pull.
Pienamite taking their time with this one.
Colin just, I think, setting things straight with his team. I assume he's team captain.
Well, that's the thing about Colin. Even if he wasn't the official captain, he's the sort of man who's an on-pitch leader.
Yeah.
Regardless of what his official title is, Colin is always gonna take that role as the kind of guy
he is. Excellent
defense
interception from Marshall. He's passed it through, and is that a point? That's equal. They're equal. They're equal.
Wolfendine is equalised.
Wolfendang.
Oh, this is fun.
That was about. I'm sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen at home. But now, as we're coming up to 10 minutes, it's pretty much half the game played. It might as well, it's evens.
It's evens.
And it was all down to Marshall's excellent interception there.
I mean, that was some truly excellent defensive work from Marshall there. He's spied that there was just perhaps a little gap that he can hop in. He's smashed the Frisbee out the air.
He's going for a well-deserved drink of vodka now.
It is a shame about his drinking.
All right, here comes the pull.
Another floater from Jacob.
He floats them well.
Bread and Jam straight on the defensive.
Curly gives it to Colin. Colin looking for
Colin
options at the
produces-
end zone.
that's a nice
Already,
point.
that was a swift point.
You've got to say to Pienamite there, they've fallen. They've lost their lead and they've gone right. We've got to show that we mean business
They
here.
turned it around.
They've come out the blocks very quickly.
The
there.
team talk paid off there. But Sparagano is now on the pitch.
And we all know what that means
And it's not good,
for Pienamite.
to be specific.
A word now from Ellie Wilson.
I missed that.
Okay, so insightful commentary there from Ellie Wilson down on the pitch side. I mean, Heaton Mess are going to have to respond to this now because that was an absolute domination, that previous point by Pienamite.
Oh, Mess have once again asked Pienamite to match on the women. I think that was Jacob's call on that occasion. Fern imparting some wisdom. I think the most experienced Frisbee player on the Mess's current 5 on court.
They can't let him just go up the wing like that, like they did in that previous point. It was just straight up 2 throws and they were there.
Well, I think that the Mess are at their best on the offensive, and obviously we have the disc from the start this time. Really try to get on the front foot. Sparagano making good moves.
Sparagano, Kroom's running around very quickly. Oh, intercepted by Colin.
Big defence from Colin and maybe a little bit cheeky from Kroom.
I'm not sure about that, but there has been a high five and a pat on the back. So
nice to see some good sportsmanship there. Colin, very, very gracious.
Gives it round. Kroom's fallen over and Ferd hasn't managed to grab it.
Doesn't matter though. Defensive turnover. Mess back on the disc.
All right, who's going for it? It looks like Sparagano's going to run in. Kroom as well is in some space on the right hand side. Gives it in Sparagano, looking for options. Back to Fern perhaps, out on the right hand wing.
Kroom open. What's Kroom got? He's looking for Fern. Nice little banked one inside out t-shirt though. He's too fast
Back
for Fern.
inside out. It's too big. He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. Colin will claim the disc. Sparagano coming to mark him. A real clash of the Titans here.
Yeah. You can say that again. Oh. Through a floppy hair.
Floppy blonde.
Gives it back to inside out.
Inside out. What's he got?
He's looking for a pass, but he might have to pass it back in this situation.
Couple of little feints there.
Oh, but he's managed to give it to Bunchy Hair.
To be fair, Bunches has made space excellently there.
He's made the space.
The Mess have really got to be careful they don't let this game slip away from them.
This feels like this is a repeat of many of their previous games, Joe. Strong start, but just taper off towards the end.
Well, they've got 7 minutes to turn this around. They can really grab the game by the scruff of its neck at this point and go, you know what, this isn't out of our reach yet. We've got to grab this. We've got to do what we can, and we've got to pick up as many points as we can. You know, even if they lose, they've got to give themselves a noble showing. At this point, it could get away from them. So they've just got to make sure that it doesn't become an embarrassment.
As we saw from that last game, anything could happen. As long as they can get 1 point down, they could win when the timer hits 0.
I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes down to what the score is at the end of the game.
I think when all is said and done, the points on the scoreboard are what is definitive in who wins the game.
I think when trying to define the abstract concept of who has won a game, it is perhaps to the points that we look.
I prefer to use points. All right, Marshall, you think he was trying to curl it a bit more there than it managed to actually curl it?
I think just possibly Wolfenden and Marshall not quite on the same wavelength there. Marshall expecting Wolfenden to continue the run. Wolfenden just pulling it off a bit.
All right, we got this guy who's like got a little bit of a quiff here. Pass it to Curly. Curly's giving it out to Nike. Nike back to Curly.
Back to Curly. Looking towards the end zone.
Quiff.
He's got a quiff again.
Oh, Curl. But Nike was there. We got Glasses and Floppy Hair in the end zone for Pienamite.
Glasses just trying to loiter.
Oh, it's inwards, but he's fumbled it, but he's still caught it, and he's actually turned.
Is that a trick move?
It was certainly tricksy. Curly. Man at the back looking for options. Back into Nike. Turns through. Oh, but it's just gone wide. And it's hit inside out on the wing.
Inside out has been quite surprised by that hit. And it was honestly quite amusing. Wolfenden on the disc. Floppy Hair trying to mark him.
Trying to.
Well, she can try all she likes.
All right. Where's he going to go? He's gone to Fern.
We just need more movement.
Back round. Oh, he's killed it round. Oh, if only he was a little bit taller, that would have been. He would have caught that.
It's just a little bit too static from the Mess at the moment. I think we need a bit more movement laterally and longularly. just a fashion.
All right, we're having an issue here in the studio. I'll have to take over for a second. So, Joe, do you think Heaton Mess's strong suit is throwing or catching?
Well, I mean, I think they can throw and they can catch, but what I'd call exactly their strong suit, I'm not sure. Perhaps. Not movement is all I'd say. I think they've got the throwing in the catch.
Oh, that's a beautiful
diagonal
point in, which is bringing them 1 point down. But that's a good situation for them.
That's has really threaded the needle there for Sam.
There's 4 minutes and 37 seconds left on the clock. An interesting fact about this game is it's the first one that team captain Matthew Harding has won on the toss.
Well, some would call him a bit of a shit tosser, but this time he's proved all his doubts.
I've heard him called that many times. The previous 5 games he's lost the toss, but this one he's won. And for many people, that's an indication that this is going to be a win for Heaton Mess.
Yeah, well, I mean, for the superstitious among us, perhaps this is the turning point. Harding wins the toss, Mess win the game. But we'll have to see.
Indeed we will. Here we go. Jacob's looking up for the initial throw thing. The pull. Here comes the throw.
He's only got him floated it again.
He's floater. Inside out. Inside out, he's going to give it to Colin, I think he is. Colin's going for it, but it's quite high, and Jacob is there, and he's intercepted. Colin's down on his knees. It's just tossed it over him to Fern. Fern looking for options left and right, back to Jacob. Jacob, Nicholas is running around behind him. Kroom's in space at the back to Amy. Amy's looking for options back again. He's a bit further forward now. It's
a nice little recycle there. What's he got this time? Back again to Amy. Amy looking for options. Fern comes out. Yes. Looking for those movements inside. We need a lot more movement inside the end zone. Fashion those spaces. They've still got the energy here. They've still got the momentum, but I'm worried the gaps are beginning to close here. This is some high-intensity stuff. Kroom's caught it. What's he got this time? Bread and jam and a lot of space on the far side. Is there a call for in? Some kind of foul, perhaps, has occurred.
Kroom's looking like he doesn't really care.
So it's a conversation of I think whether Kroom was in the end zone upon catching the disc there, and as to whether or not he scored a point or whether there'll need to be further passing.
For me, that wasn't a point.
I mean, it's one of those you've seen them given, but yeah, for me, I'd have to say that's a play on and no point.
I mean, it's all down to the referee. Jacob. I think Amy would have got that in that one, but Jacob was just making sure.
Well, I mean, you know, he wasn't to know who was behind him for sure. It's from his perspective, he just wants to make sure the point's on the board.
And the scores now on the doors are equal, 5-5.
Could this be finally for the Mess the game where they lose that losing streak?
They lose the losing streak.
Yep. They shake their former demons.
They can keep this momentum going forward. This could be a victory.
A word from Ellie Wilson on that last point.
2 minutes and 17 seconds. That's all I'm going to say.
Insightful again.
That's what we pay her for. All right, Pienamite are calling for it. Heaton Mess are ready too. Here it comes. Floating it up. One of the floatier floaters from Jacob. Nike.
Robson marking him. Massive!
Oh,
Massive from Marshall.
Another D from Marshall.
Well, Marshall and his D, they're world famous.
They're one on the same. They are together and
Robson
unified.
wants it around the wrong side of Nike. It's a nice run.
Oh,
from
it's through
Robson as well.
Jacob. He's just kept 1 foot in there.
Just kept that trailing foot in play. That's very nice.
People
play
are
from
looking on the
Jacob.
far side. Looks like they want to switch to the other side of the pitch here.
What's Sam got here? Jacob. there.
Oh,
he's not
didn't
got
quite
the
get
grab.
to it. Very close. 1 minute and a half left.
Nike on the disc. Robson to pressure. Here's Quiff. And
Colin.
Quiff making a nice run. Ooh.
Oh, he's still got a bit
Well
of space
watched
there,
though,
but
well
he is
watched.
Alistair didn't manage to defend that one, but he's still on him close.
Robson just letting Nike get away from him a little bit there.
He's managed to get it there, but he had to force it. He had to go backwards. Colin looking for options in the end zone. There's glasses there, looking perhaps for a point.
Oh, this is nice movement.
Colin through. Oh, and Quiff has scored the point.
54 seconds to equalise. What can the Mess do? But then, of course, with only being 1 point in between them, they will play on regardless of when the buzzer comes.
Yes, indeed.
The Mess, though, can't rely on that. They've really got to be getting the point as soon as possible here.
There's still time to score a point here. We got some opinions here from Eddie Wilson that there's wasting time going on from.
Yeah, 29 seconds to go, and they're just stood there talking. They're clearly ready. They've got the hands up.
Is that?
Some high-grade shithousery from Pienamite.
It does seem a little suspicious, but
Mess making ground quickly with a couple of fast interchanges with Fern and Levi. Levi making a dart for the end zone. Fern hasn't
looking for
seen it though.
options. Sam becomes 8 seconds left. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, this is
1,
delightful stuff.
0. There
They
goes
finished the
Clarkson.
point. They finished the point.
Oh, it's so close now. Looking for this, and Matthew Holding's there, and he's scored a point.
It's level. We play
equal.
on. We
It
play
is
on.
level.
Oh, we get another point yet from this game.
All to play for here.
Some contention from Colin. Who do you think is going to claim this last point, Louis? Piner might have the advantage of being on the offensive from the start, but you just never quite know.
I mean, I have to root for Heaton Mess in this situation. I assume they're bringing on all their best team composition for this final point.
Piner might praying to some kind of deity just now, with a little drop to the knees and hands spiked above the head.
Yeah. So for the final team, we got Levi, Jacob, Fern, Alistair, and Max.
I feel like they've possibly looked to go for the strongest five here. They've not had to go with two girls due to Pienamite also only fielding one. And yet I feel like they've just going for broke with this point. They really want to win it. They want to claim this victory.
It would make the prophecy true, the toss prophecy.
The toss prof.
Yeah.
Tense times on court 1 at Northumbria Sports Central.
Here we go.
That's the pull.
Floats it in. Curly hair.
Curly's got it. Kroom on the stall count. What can Curly produce here?
Colin,
Nice movement from Colin. He's pulled off very nicely.
Colin looking back to Quiff.
Quiff just grabbing it before it hits the deck.
Colin in a lot of space there.
Could have parked across in that space, could Colin?
Curly
No,
hair.
surely
No,
not.
And that's it.
Oh, and
it's
once
all
again
over.
it slipped away from the Mess. That's really quite a horrible thing to see.
And I have to say that final point, I mean, Pienamite were all over them there.
They were. That just the thing is, we've afforded them far too much space. When it's that late in the day, when it's the last point, up for the winner, next goal wins, as you'd say as a child on the playground.
Yeah.
And they're just affording Pienamite with far too much space, far too much room to breathe. They could just waltz their way through.
But still a valiant effort.
Well, you can't take anything away from the Mess. They've done themselves proud in that game. Really great stuff from beginning to end.
All right, should we sign out for today?
I feel like we should sign out for today. It's been an honour. I feel like the next one is really coming for the Mess. They've only gotten better as we've gone through this tournament, and it's got to come for them soon.
All right, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.